Chickenada here. Another video of the Stanley Parable. I just got an achievement saying welcome back, so that's pretty neat. Let's jump right back into this. I wanted to apologize that the last episode was like really short because I don't usually record things to be that short.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh no, we know this. Can I skip? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it really quick, or not like pause the video, but like pause this thing, because as soon as I walk somewhere, he's gonna start narrating. So I wanted to say that I did not mean to end it so early. Like I even got cut off because I didn't even get to do the outro. What I do usually is to check the time, like how long I've been recording. I have Bandicam in the background, so what I'll do is I'll tab to it, but for this game, as soon as I did that, it ended the video. Like, it just stopped the recording altogether. So, I couldn't, like, and I didn't want to, like, scrap the video or anything like that, because why would I? And so I posted it, and now I'm gonna probably try to make this one longer, but I don't know. I don't want to, like, I want to make the series not super long. I don't want it to be that way. So now I have my phone next to me, and it's opening apps for some reason. That's not fun. But you know what? I'm trying to get to the clock. So let's do this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. So I think this time my phone would cooperate.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. I need to check. So, I think this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to what Mr. Narrator has to say. So, door to the left. Oh, here we go. And then this way. And then pure silence. He's not saying anything.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Feeling to talk all the time.
Disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
All right. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. There is a whiteboard manager. Rip Franz. Meeting room. Lots of stuff on the board. Office party. Push for funding for R+D of new coffee machine. Get Chris out of the broom closet. What? Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy who moved my desk. What? What? Please keep the targets on the topic of blank. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. What's the... On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out the triplicate. Synergize core values. What's with these boards and synergizing? Shift global market parade. Monetize free to play. What is the... What do people want? Things, money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things plus money. Oh my god, this is great. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put into teenage demographic. Yeah. A lot of percent. Teenagers. Size of demographic. Space between the teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bins. Trash cans. Renaming of the ideas bin. Firing of me. What? Wait, there's writing on the back? Better safe than profits. Business reflect. Not all there. Cracked to be. Oh, cracked up to be. Okay. Get Chris out of the boot. Yep. Chris isn't in here.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No. I like it in here. This is my new haven. Look at this duct tape. I could
There was
fix
nothing
my
here.
life with
No
this.
choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Oh,
No
look.
reason to still be here.
I got an endless supply of duct tape, you know? Like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It was baffling
maybe.
that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
You know, technically, you talking is justifying why I'm here.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because you keep talking. This is a very interesting closet.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
Well,
But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Technically, there is a choice because I could have chosen not to come in here. But
Maybe to you this
but
is
instead I
somehow
did.
its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I don't think they would be amused.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really,
Hey!
really stupid.
Hey,
He probably only
fuck
got the
you.
job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What kind of drug? What kind of hookers?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on. You're dead. You
What?
got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Yep.
Well,
I
in a
just
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Well, y'all heard him. What you doing sitting there watching this video? Get on the computer! What are you doing? All right, let's go.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
But look at this closet. Look, it's called the broom closet. What if I...
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're
Dude.
ready to pick up the story again.
I'll hand it to the fish. Huh? Closet? Oh, I think he's actually done now. Oh.
Coming to a staircase,
Hey!
Stanley
Hey!
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope, I said I would do this. Oh, that's great. He walked into the broom closet though, and he gets all...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
What?
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the
Hey,
boss's
stubborn.
desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Behind his
And
desk?
so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 2, 2, 4.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
8, 5, 4.
Stanley simply began entering rand 2845.
5, 4, 8, 2? Is he not gonna say anything?
Forgot, but it turns out that the powered emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
He wants to tell a story, but all I'm doing is just pissing him off. Will that be an alternate ending? Through here. Nope, nothing. Alright. Oh god, I love this game. Where will this bring us to? Loading, 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 loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, won't it now? Or will it now?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It says escape, but I gotta do what he wants, because I said I would. But, you know what? You know what? I'm doing the full playthrough. So,
the lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Why are those ones uneven with the rest of the TVs, though? Are they important? Like those ones? Or are they just, like, thrown there? Because why not?
Now the monitors jumped to
fire.
life, their true nature revealed.
Fire.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I don't know which one I am. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm that one. That one right there. Or that one. I'm probably that one. Nope, that's 3. Wait. 2, 4... 2, 4... No, I'm down there! I'm not 247. That's a file cabinet. I am not one of those.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Okay.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Or is my life just being controlled?
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Buttons don't look like happy, sad, angry, and all that. What's this do? I see a big red button. Can't even press it. Boop, boop. What's that symbol? That's a 10. 10. Symbols. Figure out button. I can't. I'm clicking it. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Weird. Purple button. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So, I'm guessing it's supposed to come over here. Wait, 5. Did nothing. Got it. Whoa. It's like a theater. Neat. This looks like some...
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
That one. Oh. Whoops. Frames. Oh god. Ah! I went from 60 to 5 frames out of nowhere. Whoa. Okay.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes.
Whoa.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Am I gonna see Minecraft?
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
There weren't any.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
That's awesome.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Yep.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Oh yeah, see
No
house.
longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he
Looks
needed to
awesome.
know. It was perhaps the only thing worth
That wall
knowing.
looks big.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
What if I like? Could I? Okay.
Stanley
okay,
felt
I'm
the
forced.
cool
I'm not
breeze
controlling
upon his
anymore.
skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I feel like the narrator was happy. Beat the game. Achievement unlocked. Well, I got the end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is... That is a new loading screen. But what I'm going to do is... Wait, can I click this at all? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to that part, and I'm going to click the on switch and turn on mind control. So be right back. Do I dare?
Oh, no. No, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
But this is my closet.
I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please
I enjoy
take your time.
pissing me off. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is used to clean the halls. And look at this. I don't know what it is. I think it's a hose. What's it doing in here? And look at... fine. Be right back again. Okay, actually what I'm going to do, instead of teleporting to the off switch, or unpause it there, I'm going to do everything leading up to that, but doing them wrong each way. Like, going downstairs instead of up, and then doing that other choice that was up there. Well, let's stay on here. I don't want to talk to my boss. I want to see where everyone is. I want to see what's in here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss.
I could get fired.
Admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
Wait.
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, Why couldn't he see his feet
Wait.
when he looked down?
Wait a minute.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
They
But
do.
he simply
I've been
repeated.
in them quite a few
No,
times.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't
Oh,
be
boy.
real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
What
He
must it
just
be?
hadn't found the words for it. I'm
what-
dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer,
Explains
an
why no one's
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to
Nope.
lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Just sleeping.
He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
I'm actually
and
flying.
It too appeared. It was so much
I
fun.
can't see.
And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
I'm wondering the same
Now
thing.
the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley,
This is
who found it
voiceception.
particularly strange.
Thoughtception?
I'm dreaming about a
Inception.
voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their
Maybe I'm
dreams,
dreaming.
the truth was that, of
inside
course,
the narrator's head.
this was not a dream.
He's
How could
taking
it be?
control. He's narrating.
Was Stanley
everything.
simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's
Plot twist.
asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Okay.
He would
Calm
prove
down.
it. He
We're
would
good.
prove
We're
that he
fine.
was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
That sounds great.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Uh-oh. I seem to be in the same room.
Stanley began screaming.
Oh.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Well, that went horrible.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Who?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
What?
And then she turned and ran.
Bitch! You see a guy screaming, falls over, and you're just he's not important. Fuck him. I'm flabbergasted. That's it. That's it. All right. Next part, or well, next ending.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What could it mean?
3, 2,
Stanley
1.
decided to go to the meeting room, go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
He boarded up the broom closet, so I could go into it. Why? Oh. Damn it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs as possible. He didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
I rushed the key code, and he started saying all of that. And now I have to listen to new age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
With some great music. No, I don't think I'm going to pause it here, because... Oh, no, it's the elevator, then it'll... Okay. Be right back.
He walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's do it.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yeah, sure. That's what they all say. You just don't want me to escape.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Was there even a door? I don't think there was.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm not confronting death, I'm confronting escape. I mean, that red light, that's a menacingly red light, but I'm pretty sure I'm good. Oh God, I don't think he was lying. I might be encountering death. Oh, holy. Ah, hey. No fall damage, portal style. I like it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Big crouch jump. No! 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 Hide. What?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Who are you?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Who is this? Oh. Hey, I was about to be crushed. Why'd you stop it? Huh. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
So is she like a bigger force
When
than
every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Is she like a bigger force than the narrator? 'Cause she paused the narrator. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. Through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Is this like the developer's little base of objects and stuff like that? 'Cause that's neat if it is. Because I know in some games they'll have like a little area where they hide all their stuff. I can't walk up on this. And I can't jump either, so... I got an achievement for trying to jump. Like a bunch. Door 1, 2, and 3. Those employees must be proud. Button sounds. Huh. That one sounded a bit like, that final one sounded like a bit like, Portal. Hey, Solitaire. Employee database. And a really bright screen. And something installing. Congrats to you guys. And gals. 431 through 436. Maintenance room. The office. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't. It's the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to win. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to lose. Larger words were lots of words. What is this? Whoa! How do I access this stuff? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Huh. Fair enough. It'd be cool if we could, like, walk around those places, though. That way, like, all the effort in making those places wasn't, like, wasted. Like, I don't think it was wasted by them making it, because I bet it was still fun to the people. Whoa. Please, I would like you to keep this proposal as a top secret and delete. Details regarding transfer lots of money to you. This money, I can't read that in time. How do you make a JRPG? I hear sounds. The lounge. Oh, that's that thing. Oh, it's a clock. A countdown. Apartment timer. In the previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending timer, where a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Huh. Sorry. A cargo lift. Cargo lift again. This is all really strange, but really cool. What is this? Zending model. I'm gonna try not to, like, stay too long, because this could get boring to watch. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development. This is the first one released in May 2002. Isn't there supposed to be playing? Feature series of Broken Rooms. Broken Rooms voices the narrator, informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. So this is the trailer. Lags, Mike. Oh, frames. Why? Oh, why? Okay, this is doing things. Okay, when I was looking, every time I, like, looked at that, my frames started dropping for some reason. I don't know why. I'm on edge, by the way, because I played Soma, and, like, not only Soma, but sort of Five Nights, so, like, that thing is freaking me out right now. Like, no joke, I don't know why, but I'm, like, thinking something is down the hallway. Okay. And all that. I think we've been everywhere. Pretty oh, wait, no. That's the office right there. Hey. 427, 427, 427. Why is there so many? Oh, wait, these are, like, different types, aren't they? Yeah, there's one computer here. I can't go. Oh, it's a window. I just smacked into that window like a bird does to a normal window. Yeah, it has some extra stuff. And there's that one. Neat, neat, neat. Oh, there's the good ending right there. Freedom ending, yeah. The monitor room elevator. Countdown room. Oh, hey, this is like before they texture it and everything. Because there's the like those blocks, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Like there's no colors to it other than some of the lights. Where am I going? Is this like the ending right here? Freedom ending again. Oh jeez, it just keeps extending. Boss's office, or did I just go around? I went completely around. Oh god, I'm lost. Maybe. Or is this the ending? I'm so confused. Oh, that's going somewhere underground.
When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever.
Narration outtakes.
Now, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track.
Good job, Kevin Brighting, for the
He traveled upward
narrations, because holy, I love it. It's great. The voice of the narrator recorded dialogue for the entire game, roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from the early... Huh. Where do I go? Give that guy a round of applause, by the way, because holy, his narration is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Oh wait, exit. Wow, I am blind. Alright.
Oh,
that's
look
good
at
as
these
shit.
two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, I heard that laugh, and I immediately went to who the fuck is behind me? And like, I trembled a bit.
Can you see? Can you
Nah.
see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still
back.
save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Wait, is she like
Push
breaking-
escape and press quit.
She-
There's
oh,
no
oh.
other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and make your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
She was saying press. Well, like I bet you all heard what she said, but like, press escape and then quit, and then I don't know. What did I get from the ending? Is that one of the endings? Not listening to her is another one listening to her. Wait, nothing's happening. Usually it'd go to like a loading. Wait a minute. It's waiting for me to click it. What if I click it? I clicked it. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never. Are we just gonna pretend none of that just happened? We pretend the fourth wall wasn't broken right there? Like,
Already this was uncomfortable.
Whoa.
And Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
oh, that's different. That's different. He didn't say that before. Whoa. Wait. Whoa. I did not notice some of these rooms were still being made. Wait a minute. 4B3? Why is that door open? Where's that going? In there.
When Stanley came to a set
Okay,
of 2
I think
open
this is all the
doors,
same.
he entered the
So
door
I'm
on
gonna
his
pause
left.
it again and get to the next ending. I mean, that should finish just about clear the whole
Yet there was not a single person here either.
left door route.
Feeling
So,
a
be
wave
right
of
back.
disbelief, Stanley decided to
boarded
go
up.
up to his bosses. I might find an outcome. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, push some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
I didn't even enter the password. He just got impatient. He's just like, there's the door. We've been through this. Man, this game. Alright. And we're right back. Maybe? Do I want to even click the... Do I even want to pause a video? I probably do. Frame drop, frame back, but... Yeah, I'm just gonna pause it. Be right back. That's the boss's office right there. As one of the employees' cameras. I just lost it. Oh no, it's right there. He's employee 392, the boss, because that's the boss's office. Like, wait until that happens. See? Wait, why am I questioning this? It's obvious the narrator's making this story, so...
This mind control facility, it was too
Back
horrible
again.
to believe exert its
Here we
terrible
are.
power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Dismantle, take it all.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
I'm the boss.
Control?
I'm the boss. I take control.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
Oh, that doesn't
I'm
sound
afraid
good.
you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
that's
nuclear
good.
detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's
Let's run back.
desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time
you,
left to
dude.
enjoy
I only
it.
gotta
Mere
survive.
moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where
Those
we're
are doing
going,
nothing.
what all this means. I
button.
barely know where to start.
Oh, that went dark.
What's that?
5.
You'd like to know where your
3.
co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
1. There it is.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what
And then
happened to
maybe a
them.
blue button.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was
Incorrect.
merely in this instance of the story.
Red button.
Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Re-enter passcode. What am
Other
I doing
times,
wrong?
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Red.
I have to
Incorrect.
say this, though. This version of events has been rather
blue.
amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's
no.
quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
Oh.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra
Correct.
time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing
Nope,
right
did
now?
nothing.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in
what
this
did I
room
do?
was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running
Red,
from button to
green,
button, screen to
yellow.
screen, clicking on every little
No.
thing in this room.
No.
These
This is
number
a
buttons.
passcode?
No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything.
There's gotta be
Something here
that
will save
says
me.
What to do.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
There's gotta be something. I can do. Whoa. Wait.
Stanley.
There's gotta be something.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a
You
catalyst
have
to
one
keep the
attempt for
action
rating?
moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of
That was
watching a
over here, wasn't
cutscene
it?
because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this
Is that
world,
Backup Bell
that's
or was it
fine.
this?
But I'm going to
Ah,
destroy
son
it
of a-
first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock,
Goodbye,
Stanley.
employee 47.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
No, it seems like whenever you like do a story and then just decide, oh, I'm gonna break one rule to your story, it gets really messed up afterwards. Like he's pissed off afterwards. You know what? I think that'll do for this video. If you like the video, leave a like. If you don't, please tell me why. Chickenator. We got a lot done. We finished the whole, what you would say, positive side, I think. But I think we finished everything going through the left door. So now in the next episode, I'm going to be doing everything in the right door. If there isn't that much left in that, then I'll be trying to figure out different combinations at that point. Because I know this game's got several endings, like many. So, Chickenator,